All right, today I'm going to go over shoes. I just got a new pair of shoes here. We've got a hike coming up. Going to Isle Royale for 11 days of hiking, return on the 12th day. So it should be a long trip, a lot of miles, and I need to get a new pair of shoes for that. It's going to be about 108 to 118, I think, miles, depending on the routes that we take, campsites we pick for the night, weather, all that kind of stuff. But it should be a 100+ mile trip. And the last pair of shoes I had, or the current pair of shoes that I had, were not, they're too old. I was kind of, there's a little wear in here, if you can see, on the mesh starting to happen. That was I knew that was there. That was kind of why I was trying to talk myself into buying new shoes. But then I kind of looked at the tread and saw that was kind of wearing away. It was not wearing away. It has worn away, and you can kind of see there's no contour. It's almost flat right there. And to compare that to the other shoe, you can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. There's a lot more grip here. So that was kind of what I was looking for, and I have had this particular shoe. This is a replacement of the last pair of these that I bought. So they did get pushed. Maybe I pushed through with a little further with this kind of round of Salomon. The tread had delaminated from the shoe, and they replaced it, no problem. They're under warranty, so that was no problem. But I've had somewhere in the range, I think if you count the replacement, this is the 6th pair of these I've had, the 5th or the 6th, I believe. And so again, very much a known quantity for me. So that in my head is the go-to shoe for me for a lot of different reasons that I'll get into. I went in, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine for any retail store, is I go into my local outdoor shop, and they didn't have, they didn't have a single shoe that fit that in size. I was looking for a size 13 shoe, and they did have one pair of Merrells that Merrells don't work with my foot, and B, I don't like the look of it. It was an ugly shoe. So, of all the places I had to go to, it was the REI, and REI is always a gong show for me. They don't have the color, the size, the style, whatever, and they can order it in, that's fine, but it's like, I kind of want it now. And they never have what I'm looking for. I have to go somewhere else. Usually I have to go to Midwest Mountaineering. That's my local shop. It's just a few miles down the road. But they actually didn't have what I was looking for this time. So I had to go to REI, and they actually had what I wanted. They had a lot of different styles of them too. So maybe they've kind of taken some of my complaints and under advisement, I guess. But this shoe basically had just started to wear out. That was in my head what I was going to get again. But what I actually found is they had some Ultras in there, and the Ultra Lone Peak 3.5 was out. And I did try and, what was the other Ultra called? There was another one. It was a little lighter weight. It was a comfortable shoe, but it just, when you kind of flexed your foot as you were walking, flexed your toes as you're going into your push-off, it had a weird crease in it, which I didn't really, it felt weird. And it was a little too lightweight, probably for what I'm looking for. And so I tried on the Lone Peak 3.5s, and I really liked them because Ultras I've looked into a couple of times. I couldn't get past the clown shoe look of them, basically. That wide toe box, especially on a larger size, it looks so ridiculous. But I think they've toned that down a little bit. These didn't look so offensive in that matter, and the Lone Peak was a really, really comfortable shoe. The cushioning was great. I love the fact that there are no rise, no drop. They're a no drop shoe, so that just means that they're flat. They don't have that kind of raised heel. These are pretty minimal, but it is there. And so it's like walking. It's a lot more like walking barefoot, as far as like how your foot functions as you're walking. The cushioning on them is extremely comfortable, but you can feel the trail beneath you, the terrain. I walked around the store comparing the two, put these on, walked around, did their little features that they have to kind of climb on, steep incline, lesser incline, off camber. I tried the Salomons, I tried the Altras, and I walked around for, I was there at least an hour, I think. And in the meantime, I was looking up reviews of the Altras, reading some, watching some. The things that kind of I got hung up on for the Altras were the fact that they didn't seem to dry out very well as you were wearing them. It could have been the test that particular guy was doing. I read that in a couple of places, that might be an issue, that you may feel a little too much trail if you're doing rougher terrain, a lot of rocks and stuff. Over time, and in my head, going to Isle Royale, I did this a couple years ago. We did the Minong Trail, which we don't plan on doing this time, but you never know. And that was just, is that 13 miles long, 15 miles long, something like that, of that particular section. And it's almost all exposed ridge, walking on rocks. And even in my, these are the shoes I was wearing. It was either these shoes or the ones that these shoes replaced were the ones I was wearing. Even with those, I still felt the soles of my feet at the end of the day with that terrain. And I know some of the trail that we're doing is that kind of terrain. I just don't know if it's that much of it. So we will see how that works out. But that was in my head that might be something I didn't really want to go with. But I did love the larger toe box. Toes were super comfortable. Felt like your natural foot stance. I wear flip-flops in the summer, so it's because it's comfortable. I don't like wearing shoes. I don't like the enclosed toe box, especially in the summer. So I wear a lot of flip-flops. When I work out barefoot, lifting weights and that kind of stuff. So just having that natural foot function feels really good in those shoes. I really like them. The kind of two of the big things and that were the turning points for me. The thing that the Altras were working against is these Salomons for me are a known quantity. I've had a lot of pairs of them. I know how they hold up. I know what they do. I know the traction. I know the durability, all that kind of stuff. The Salomons have this lacing system that I love. You just kind of cinch that down, and there is a little pouch right here. You can kind of tuck this stuff under and away, and it's out of the way. It's not going to snag on anything. It's not going to untie during the day. You don't have to double knot it. It's just quick. It's easy. It's easy on, easy off. There's no wet laces that don't slide as well and get hung up in a knot or any just stupid little stuff that kind of happens with laces. Kind of a minor thing, but it is one of the things that was an ultimate kind of weight on the other side of the scale that made me purchase the Salomons. The other thing I really liked about the Altras is they are really lightweight. You do feel pretty barefoot when you're walking with them. You don't feel that weight of the shoe, and I did like those. I really liked them. I really wanted to try them out, but the ultimate thing that I saw in one of the reviews was that after only like 150 miles of one of these guys' kind of tests, 150 miles of hiking, that they started to wear a little bit already. And he was just and that everybody that's worn Altras that I've seen that are ultra distance hikers and stuff are slight little people that don't weigh a lot. So for me, I wasn't sure that the durability was going to be there. This hike that we're doing is going to be 100 plus miles. That's the plan. So if it's going to start wearing that much noticeably after only that much of hiking, of ultralight hiking from a really light person, that kind of put some alarm bells in my head. And the other thing was I wasn't sure about the durability of the shoe overall. Again, I know there's a lot of ultralight hikers, distance hikers that wear those and love them. And I've honestly never really heard anybody say anything bad about them. But the thing about the Salomon, this is the Pro 3Ds. The thing I like about this is it's a little bit beefier. It's the same shoe as this. Basically, I just got a replacement. Again, a new version of them. And it's a little beefier shoe. The heel cup on this felt a little more snug on my foot. And when I was walking on off-camber terrain, that was one of the things. My foot felt more stable in this shoe on kind of that off-camber, specifically to the outside. The outside angle is the one, if I'm going to worry about rolling an ankle or something, it felt a lot more stable in this than it did in the Ultras. And that was the major thing as far as the durability issue for me. That's what I was wondering about. So I ended up going with the Salomon Pro 3Ds, XA Pro 3Ds. They're just a known quantity. That's a lot of what the Ultras were working against. And these, I know that I can get them wet. They'll dry out as I walk. The water just squishes out of the mesh. That was also kind of that issue with the Lone Peak review that I saw, that they weren't drying all that well. These are light enough weight, but they're a little beefier. They have this toe cup up here that's a little reinforced over the mesh. That's protected my toes a couple of times where I dropped something while I'm camping. I've tripped on something, and instead of having like a bruised toe or something, this is kind of absorbed that impact and kind of protected a little bit. And this lacing system is slick. I really like that. And the tread on these is great. I rarely feel like I'm going to slip. Wet rocks, mud, great traction in mud, sheds mud. I've really enjoyed these shoes, and when they do get wet, they do dry out. I've had the Gore-Tex version in the past. That's the case with the Gore-Tex. If you get your wet feet, you're going to have wet feet until you have a chance to air these out. I was in Georgia. We got rained on. You're sweating all day. My shoes were wet the whole time, and that is why I wanted these versus the GTX model, because I wanted my feet to dry out. I had wet feet the entire trip, and it was humid enough that they just never really dried out, even overnight. Never got that chance to just sit out in the sun and kind of bake a little bit, so I had wet feet. And these have kind of solved that. Given a little mesh here, they breathe really well. They're cool when they need to be cool, and like I said, you can just dry them out as you walk. So this is my shoe. This has been my shoe for the past, since the early 2000s at least. I don't know exactly when I got my first pair, but early, before 2005, I think, for sure. And they were a great shoe. I've loved them, and I haven't stopped buying them to replace the old ones that I had. Even as much as I have a winter boot, also winter hiking boot. This was something I was in the market for. Needed to, for when there's snow on the ground and want to do some winter camping, I needed to hike in. All I had was pack boots, so I needed a good solid boot for that. Salomon's were reviewed really well. They are super warm. I've worn them for fat biking. Got flats on that bike, so I needed a warm, something to keep my feet warm that wasn't too bulky. And again, pack boots, they work, but they're not the greatest choice in the world. And these Salomons were great. My feet were warm over the winter during below zero temperatures, double digit below zero sometimes, and I haven't had an issue yet with these. Haven't had extensive use of these yet, but they were great. And again, early season, late season hiking, when it's a little bit colder, might be a little bit mucky out, you want to make sure that your feet stay dry. This is going to be my go-to boot for those types of packs. So again, kind of the Salomon guide. I've been a huge proponent of these over the years. Different threads, I always recommend these to people. They work great for my feet, but with shoes, it's all about what your feet are like. Some people swear by Merrell's, some people swear by Keens. These are my go-tos. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. So Salomons, they're my go-to brand. You're gonna try them out, get some miles on them, break them in a little bit, but they don't need too much breaking in. These are pretty much good out of the box. This last pair, the last trip to Iowa, I actually had about 6 pieces of equipment that I've never used before, and that's an absolute no-go. But it all worked out great. Everything worked exactly as performed, and brand new shoes. Didn't really have any foot issues with them. I think I had a little tiny blister. They just need a little breaking in, but they work great. They're great out of the box, but I would like to just kind of get some miles on them. These are size 13. That's another thing. These are a size 13. That was one thing with these shoes. I actually bought them too small. I bought them for like everyday walking around feet, instead of remembering that my feet swell up about a full size when I'm hiking. So these, when I was hiking in the Olympic National Park, I had a day of just downhill hiking. My pinky toe got slammed into the side over and over, starting to get a blister. I had wrapped it up with a Band-Aid, and it was just kind of a horror show when I took it off a couple days later. So I needed a bigger pair. That's what these were. So these are going to work great. Plenty of room in that foot box. I didn't have that same issue. I didn't have that toe rubbing up on the side. The heel cup really locks your foot in place. Cinch these up, and that foot's not going anywhere. So that they felt great that way. And we're gonna try these out in a couple of days here, and then we're gonna basically hit the trail with them for real. So anyway, thanks for watching.